Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I am bringing you an update to my Nekroz deck profile. Now, I did a deck profile on this a while ago, and now that most of you guys should know, Nekroz of Unicorn is at 3, so I figured I would do an update. Also, I price checked everything, and this main deck is sitting at about $100, so it's a pretty good budget option if you guys are really looking to get into Nekroz, because this was a really hard deck to get a hold of right when it came out. And besides that, the extra deck is about 30 bucks, but you can really tailor it to however you want. You just really have to have certain levels of monsters in the extra deck for your Nekroz Kaleidoscope and whatnot. But really quickly, guys, I want to mention that I am doing a giveaway which ends tonight, June 21st of 2020. Also, there's a giveaway for this Chaos Space Collector's Rare card that I just pulled out of my Toon Chaos booster set. If you guys want to go check out my video on me unboxing that, as well as enter the giveaway, check out my Instagram and whatnot. But besides that, we are going to go ahead and go on into the deck profile. So starting off, we are playing, again, 3 copies of Nekroz of Unicorn. You got to play this at 3. It's just such a good card. The reason why it was limited on the ban list, but now it's at 3. So what this card does is that when it's on the field, it negates the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls that were special summoned from the extra deck, which is just a really great play. And then besides that, also you can discard this from the hand to add a Nekroz card from your graveyard, which is just really, really sweet. Besides that, we are playing the 3 Nekroz of Bionic. You got to really be playing this too at 3, because what this does is that you can discard it from the hand in order to add any of your Nekroz monsters to your hand, which is always really, really nice. Also, while this card is on the field, you can target 2 face-up monsters on the field that were special summoned from the extra deck and shuffle them back into the extra deck. So it's just really, really nice to, this whole deck is just focused around picking off your opponent's extra deck monsters and keeping control of the board. And besides that, Colossalus is basically the spell version of Bionic. So what he does is he can discard from the hand to add a Nekroz spell from your deck to your hand, which is always really, really nice. Also, while it's on the field, you can target a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck and negate its effects and make its attack 0. Besides that, we are also playing 2 copies of Nekroz of Valkyris. This card is really, really sweet. It's a big boy. He's got 2,900 attack, and he really helps for battle protection. When your opponent's monster declares an attack on you, you can discard this from the hand and banish a Nekroz card from the graveyard in order to negate the attack. And then also, while he's on the field, you can tribute 2 of your monsters from your hand or field and then draw the same number of cards. So it's just really, really nice. He pairs really great with the Incantations, because you can usually put out 2 Incantations on the board, and then you can just tribute them and then get extra advantage to your hand. And then you're also not restricted out of the extra deck should you need to, because those monsters will no longer be on the field. The Incantations can lock you out of the extra deck. Besides that, we're also playing 2 Nekroz of Trishula. He basically has the effect of Trishula to where you can, when it's summoned, you target 1 card in your opponent's hand, field, and graveyard to banish them. The only thing with him is that your opponent has to have all 3 of the options, so you can't just pick and choose. Like if there's something on the hand and field, like there also has to be something in the graveyard, otherwise this effect will not resolve. And then also, while this card's in your hand, you can discard it to the graveyard whenever your opponent targets one of your Nekroz monsters, and then you can negate the effect. So it's really, really nice. I used to have Saravis, the ritual monster, in this deck, but I took it out because Trishula can basically do the same thing, and now with Nekroz of Unicorn at 3, you just really don't need it in the deck anymore. As for the non-Nekroz cards, we were playing 3 Incantation Chalice Slime. What this card does is that you can reveal it from the hand and then discard an Incantation card. Usually you just discard this itself, and then you special summon an Incantation monster from the deck, and they always get bonus effects off when they're special summoned from the deck. And the only caveat is that if you don't ritual summon after you use this effect this turn, you lose 2,500 life points, but you are ritual summoning basically every single turn, so keep that in mind that you will basically always get this off, and if you resolve this effect, you will be getting one of the combo pieces that you need to get that ritual summon off anyways. So then also this card actually has an effect while on the field if you would opt to ritual summon it if you were backed into a corner. You can tribute 1 Incantation monster from your hand or field in order to destroy 1 monster that your opponent controls. So he's just overall really nice to have in the deck and just very versatile. Then going on, we are playing, for our last ritual card is one Cyber Angel Benton. When this card is tributed for a ritual or just tributed in general, you get to add a fairy from your deck to your hand, so it just really recycles your advantage, which is very, very nice. Moving on to the rest of the monsters, we are playing 3 Manju of 10,000 Hands, pretty standard for a ritual deck. Then we are playing 2 of the Incantation Talismandra, 2 of the Candle, 2 Pencil Plume, and then 1 Bookstone. So I like them in this ratio. Basically what they do is that you can reveal this from your hand as well as a ritual monster or a ritual spell, and then they special summon themselves from the hand, and then they special out another incantation from the main deck. So yeah, they're just very versatile, very nice for the deck, and they just get you so much advantage. So Talismandra is the one that adds a monster, a ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Candle adds a ritual spell from deck to hand. Pencil Plume adds the ritual monsters from your graveyard to your hand, and then Bookstone just adds a ritual spell when special summoned from the deck. Adds a ritual spell from your graveyard to your hand. So yeah, overall I just really like them in those ratios. It just works really well. And then we are playing 1 Shuret. He can be used as a tribute for any Nekroz ritual monster, and he fulfills the whole tribute. And then also, if he is tributed, you are able to add a warrior Nekroz ritual monster from your deck to your hand. So really nice to either get your Valkyris, which is sort of a hand trap monster, or your Brionic, which can get you any other of your Nekroz monsters to your hand. And then lastly, 1 Vanity's Ruler. He's searchable by your Cyber Angel Benton. He also combos really well with the Incantations because they special summon themselves to the field. So you usually end up with 2 Incantations on the field, and then you just tribute them for your Vanity's Ruler, and he's your normal summon for the turn. For the ritual spells, we are playing 2 copies of Nekroz of Kaleidoscope. This card is just so great, and I can't believe I was playing it at 1 in my first build, but basically what this card does is that it lets you tribute monsters for a ritual summon from the hand, field, or from the extra deck. You can send extra deck monsters, which is why you play all of these high-level monsters, and then you're able to summon any number of Nekroz monsters from your hand that equals the total levels of that monster. So I really like comboing this with either your Trishula and Clausulus, which equals 12, or your Unicorn and Valkyris, which also equals 12. But there's also different combinations in this that you can do as well. We have like combinations of 7, which is why we play Power Tool Dragon in the deck and whatnot. This card is just really, really nice to have in the deck. So that's why I like it at 2. And then also with all of the Nekroz ritual spells, when this card is sitting in your graveyard, if you control no monsters, you can banish this from the graveyard as well as a Nekroz monster, and then you can add another Nekroz ritual spell from your deck to your hand. So they recycle, and they're just super, super powerful. Besides that, we are playing 2 Nekroz Cycle. So this card is just really, really nuts because what Nekroz Cycle does is that it lets you tribute monsters from your hand or field, which is pretty standard, but it lets you ritual summon the monster from either your hand or your graveyard. So it's just really, really cool. If something is sitting in your graveyard and you're in a pinch, and you know, this card's in your hand along with like Shuret, which can be used for the entire tribute for the ritual summon, then that's just great because you get like your full combo off just right there. 1 copy of Nekroz Mirror. What this card does is that it lets you tribute monsters from your hand or field, or you can banish Nekroz monsters from your graveyard whose total levels equal the required levels for the ritual summon, which is really nice because again, that the banishing only requires a Nekroz monster, doesn't specifically have to be a Nekroz ritual, so you can still use Shuret for this. But yeah, so you get to ritual summon with stuff in your graveyard, which is really, really nice. The only thing to keep in mind with all 3 of these spells is that the levels have to be exact. It's not as relaxed as some of the other ritual cards, but that's usually not a problem for this deck. Then, just to wrap it up, we are playing the 1 copy of Incantation Inception. This card's just really, really nice because it recycles itself. Then going on to 3 copies of Preparation of Rites, very standard for any ritual deck. And then lastly, 3 copies of Called by the Grave. This deck can combo off pretty nice, but it's still nice to always get off the advantage that you want. So I really like having 3 copies of Called by the Grave just to stop Ash Blossoms and stuff from stopping stuff like your Brionic and whatnot. But now let's head on into the extra deck. Okay, so for the extra deck, we were playing 3 copies of Herald of Light. Again, you don't totally need this for like the budget alternative of the deck, but this card is just super nice to combo off with Unicorn. Pretty standard for this deck, but basically what this does is you combo it off with your Kaleidoscope, and when this card is sent to the graveyard, you add either a ritual monster or ritual spell from your deck to your hand. So really, really nice there. And then also I'm playing just 2 copies of Elder Entity Natis. So this is just to substitute if you don't want to use Herald of the Arclight at the moment. You can just go ahead with Elder Entity Natis, and when this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to destroy 1 card on the field. So pretty nice just for a little bit of spot removal. And then just for the rest of like our Kaleidoscope targets, we were playing a level 6 Bryonic Dragon of the Ice Barrier, Power Tool Dragon. Again, you can really play whatever level monsters. The fun part about this deck is that you get to play basically whatever you think is the most fun. You get to play some of your favorite Synchro and fusion monsters. So then there's a Stardust Dragon for really just to get out like 2 Unicorns. One thing to also keep in mind is that your Trishula and Valkyris state that they can't be used with monsters with the same level as them. So you can't send a Stardust Dragon to just summon out Valkyris. You would have to do like the shooting Quasar Dragon in order to get out Valkyris and a Unicorn. So anyways, just to keep going here, we are playing the 1 Trishula. Again, kind of ironic that you can't use Trishula to like summon out the Nekroz of Trishula because he can't be used with a level 9 monster. Then going on, the shooting Star Dragon, Star Eater for the level 11 with Valkyris and Colossalus, and again, the Shooting Quasar Dragon, along with a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I like playing 2 level 12s in the deck, just because, as I've mentioned, it's pretty easy to combo off to get the level 12s. You get Valkyris and Unicorn, or you can get Colossalus and Trishula to the field with your level 12s, or you could even go with 2 Bryonics if you really, really needed to. And then besides that, we were playing 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix, just for a little bit of removal, and then 1 Nephthys, the Sacred Flame. Just keep in mind that you can't go into extra deck plays actually while the incantations are on the field. But now we are going to go into a quick combo just so I can show you guys the power of this still budget build. Alright guys, for this combo that I'm going to be showing you, I am going to be just sort of going over the opening board that this deck can pull off, and keep in mind that this deck is like hyper consistent. It can put out this board in so many different variations. The incantation monster that you have here in this combo could really be anything. Mainly Bookstone is what we, or Bookstone or Pencil Plume is what we would kind of hope to draw, because we like using Kandal and Talismandra from the deck, as well as like the ritual spell that we're going to add off of Chalice Slime, or any of these guys could really just be Bryonic or Colossalus in the hand, as well as if you just already drew into your Kaleidoscope, you wouldn't need Colossalus or the incantation in this situation anyways. So for the first step of this combo, we are going to reveal the incantation Chalice Slime from our hand in order to discard himself from the hand, and then special summon incantation Kandal directly from our deck. With his own effect going off, then we can add the Nekroz Kaleidoscope right to our hand, and then we can reveal the incantation Pencil Plume as well as a Nekroz monster in our hand, special summon the Pencil Plume, and then his effect will go off, allowing us to special summon Talismandra from the deck. Talismandra's effect will then allow us to add a ritual monster from the deck to the hand. So we will be taking the Cyber Angel Benton off of that. From here on, it's pretty straightforward. We just activate the Nekroz Kaleidoscope in order to special summon Unicorn and Valkyris by sending a level 12 from the extra deck to the graveyard. So now that Valkyris is on the field, we will be allowed to tribute 2 monsters from the hand or field. So we will tribute Cyber Angel Benton as well as 1 of the incantation monsters. We will take those 2. Cyber Angel Benton's effect will go off, allowing us to add the Vanity's Ruler from our deck into our hand, and then along with the 5th card that we would have drawn for this turn, so keep in mind we already have this card in our hand as well, we will be drawing 2 cards off of the Valkyris effect. So let's just see what we have here. So from here, what we will do is we will just tribute off these 2 incantation monsters for our Vanity's Ruler, and lastly what we can do is we can tribute off the Bryonic, discarding himself, not tributing from the hand, in order to add any monster from our deck to our hand, so we are going to pick up our second copy of Valkyrus, which will give us a little bit of battle protection in order to protect the Unicorn. So guys, in the end, with this little combo here, we have a Valkyrus in the hand in order to disrupt battle, as well as a Unicorn on the field in order to negate our opponent's monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck. And if that's not good enough, we already have Vanity's Ruler on the field in order to stop our opponent from special summoning in general. So that is going to do it for this combo video and for the deck profile. Guys, don't forget about the giveaway that's going on yet tonight on June 21st. If it's after that, keep in mind that there is still the collector's rare going on for the drawing will continue through till Tuesday, June 23rd. Or besides that, if you guys just want to subscribe to the channel anyways for more great deck profiles as well as future giveaways, go ahead and consider that too. So thank you very much for watching. Common Collector out.